Okay, this is number 3 on section 5.4. I just want to walk you through this one. Unfortunately, the um, StatCrunch won't help us because we don't have the raw data. We just have um, the T and the N for this match pairs test. So I just want to take you through how the book has us do this. Um, Now notice the N is 25, which is the small sample case situation. So we need to find both the test statistic and the critical value. And the test statistic is going to be determined by whether we have two-tailed, left-tailed, or right-tailed. And you can see our hypothesis, our null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis are structured as a two-tailed test. So the test statistic is just going to be the smaller of T positive or the absolute value of T negative. So we are going to choose what 73, because 73 is smaller than 89. So our test statistic is 73. Now we need to find the critical value, and all we need to do is go to table 8 in the back of the book. I know that can be a little hard to find if you're just working with the textbook, but let me look up the page number. What is it? Table? No, sorry, it's not table 8. It's table 13. To review my Roman numerals. Okay, so that should be on page A/26. Let's see if it pulls that up for me. Yeah, okay. It's not centered, but that's the one. Okay, and then this is two-tailed hypothesis test, and we want it at a 5% level of confidence. So we're going to cut that in half because it's a two-tailed, and we're going to look up the sample size, which is 25. Okay, so the number here is the critical value is 89. Okay. And okay, so let me go back to the page in the book. That was $761. It tells us what we need to know now is how to compare the test statistic with the critical value, right? Usually, you just have if the test statistic is more extreme than the critical value or bigger, then we would reject the null hypothesis. But with parametric, with this test, it actually kind of runs counterintuitive to what you're thinking. So if you turn the page to 762, it's going to tell us what to do. So this is sign pairs ranks test, the whole thing for the different sample sizes. And then right here, it's going to tell us what to do. So for after you found the critical value in the test statistic for the small sample case, which is our situation because our n is less than 30, and a two-tailed test, if our test statistic is less than our critical value, we reject the null hypothesis. So that's what I mean by it kind of runs counterintuitive. If you've used critical values and test statistics in earlier on earlier problems, in particularly like chapters 9 and 10, you might be thinking that feels all wrong, but that's correct for this test. So Yes, our test statistic is less than our critical value, so we're going to reject the null hypothesis. So is there any significant difference, any significant evidence that the alternative hypothesis is true? Yes, it is significant. The test statistic is less than the critical value. Okay. So we're rejecting the null hypothesis because the test statistic is less than the critical value. I hope that helps a little bit on this problem.